That's okay. Everyone's here. Everything's good in terms of the telemetry. See whereabouts the stream is. It is indeed. So, the stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 12 of the Go Workplace Training PlayStation Tier 1 Pacific Series on Race Spec Esports. The 12th round being the Spanish Grand Prix here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, a 4.66 kilometer 16 turn racetrack. Known in real life as Boring Barcelona, the racetrack isn't a particularly good one for racing. There's very few overtaking opportunities. Realistically, the only ones you've got is turn 1 and turn 10, and they both come after DRS straights. The rest of the track is pretty much follow the leader. However, in my opinion, I do enjoy driving around this circuit for about 90% of it until we hit the flow-destroying chicane that is turns 14 and 15. I have to say, this is by far and away my least favourite chicane in all of motor racing. It's just so awkward and clumsy to go through, and those tall sausage curves at the apex of each corner provide one hell of a challenge in negotiating the chicane. Tell you what, we're right on board with Leo. Give us a guided tour of the racetrack. Round turn 1, turn 2, and then the long right-hand sweeper of turn 3. It's quite a nice flowy opening section to a lap. This will end the first sector. Round turn 4, it's an increasing radius sweeper. See there, full throttle just after the apex, and he runs it right out to the outside. Round turn 6, takes it nicely there under the Rolex sign. Sorry, turn 5, then turn 6. Now this is turn 7, turn 8, and then turn 9, probably the most treacherous corner on the racetrack. Oh, the car can get quite unstable through there. Drivers have to be quite careful. Around the hairpin of turn 10. Turn 11, this corner is quite clumsy. I'm quite glad it's gone for the 2021 season. The track reverts to its somewhat more traditional layout towards the flow-destroying chicane of turns 14 and 15, and around the final corner, turn 16, to end the lap. DRS open, you'll cross the line to set a 1 minute 14.447. That's our benchmark. Can anyone beat that? William crosses the line. That's a driver on a out lap. Sendizi does a 16.1, his first benchmark time. A couple of other drivers on flying laps. So LJB on a flyer. One of the Ferraris is coming to the end of the lap. It must be, I believe that was a Ferrari anyway, unless it was an Alfa Romeo. Must have been Wogboy. Now, because we've only got 3 rounds to go after this, it's probably time to talk about the Drivers' Championship. So our 2 main protagonists in this championship are GeForce Crichton and GeForce Swaggy. They're the only 2 realistic shots for getting the Drivers' Championship. The driver in 3rd, Wogboy, he's far too behind. He's almost 100 points behind our current championship leader. But GeForce Crichton is leading the way on 200 points. Swaggy, the man on screen right now, is on 165, 35 points behind, which is a fairly big margin, as his teammates Sendizi and a Renault get off the racetrack to let Spilly or Sir LJB through. It must have been Spilly. So Swaggy, he's a fair margin behind Crichton, but it's realistically possible for him to try and challenge him, at the very least, for the Drivers' Championship. But he needs a solid round here in Barcelona. On the soft compound tyre, he sets off on his first flying lap. Quite interesting to see several drivers on the soft compound tyre. I'll explain why that's interesting in a moment. He didn't put it in the wall. And there's a nice little plug there for Emirates. Ooh, who's that going past? It's Volts, reserve driver in the Mercedes. And he gets going once again. The strategy around here appears to be a medium-hard race. You've got 33 laps worth of racing to do. The soft tyre can do 9 laps according to the game, and the hard tyre according to the game can do 22 laps. Simple arithmetic would tell you that's a total of 31, and it won't get you to the end of the race. Not only that, but after 7 laps the soft tyre can really fall off in terms of pace. So I'm quite surprised to see how many drivers are qualifying on the soft compound. I wonder how many of them would just gamble starting outside the top 10 to have those fresh medium or hard compound tyres on the car for the start of the race. At the moment, plenty of drivers inside the top 10 setting times on the soft compound. And invalidating G-Force Crichton. He's still pushing on with the lap, so we might see what he could have done. Coming around turn 10, one of the few overtaking spots on the circuit. Turn 11, it's quite an awkward corner, turn 11. That elevated curb on the inside is an absolute bastard to go over. Really unsettles the car. And if you put too much... Ooh, that's a late move into the pits there. And he comes and he pulls it up. But yeah, it unsettles the car, and if you're a bit unlucky, as that's one of the racing points off the racetrack, there you can see that they're parked off to the side. If you're a bit unlucky, you might find yourself into a barrier when you go over that curb, because the car will spontaneously rotate. It's not particularly fun. The Volt's coming to the end of his first flying lap. Comes out to the final corner, stays to the right hand side. There's a 15.3, goes third quickest. The gaps between P1 and 2 are fairly big, I must say. That's about 9/10 of a second, that's pretty big. Leo, our current pole sitter, has just gone purple in the first sector. Coming around turn 5, downhill left-hand hairpin. You have to use all the curb on the outside around the kink of turn 6. Into the tricky left-right of turn 7 and 8. Up the hill towards turn 9. Come up and over the crest where the car gets quite light. Now turn 10, hard on the brakes, up by a little under a 1/10 and a half. Around turn 11, then turn 12, 4th gear, 3rd gear, short shifts to 5th on the exit to minimise the wheel spin. Round turn 13, into the chicane of 14 and 15, keeps it in 3rd gear again to minimise the wheel spin. Keeps it flat through the final corner, DRS open up to the line, does a 1 minute 14.313. So he builds a bigger margin over the rest of the field. Does anyone have anything in reply? Flav's on a flying lap. So is Shaq in P11. Yet to set a flying lap on the medium compound tyre. Looking at the field now, there are several drivers on the mediums. 7 of them, in fact, got them on their car ready to go. Nice and gentle with the throttle. Round the final corner. DRS open up to the line. Goes 5th quickest with a 13.368. Archer's on a flying lap. Current PB is a 117 flat. His teammate is in the final sector. Yellow flags in the first because the car's slowing down to let faster traffic through. Bit like that Haas there. That's Leo. He's going back into the pits. Players around the chicane, avoiding the sausage curbs. Using too much curb on the exit invalidates his lap. what would he have done? 14.8. That would have put him second quickest. But just using too much curb there at the exit of the chicane, it has cost him the chance to put that lap time down. Crichton on a flyer. Purple, apparently, to the second sector. Knowing how quick this driver is, that's quite possible. He's on the soft compound tyre as well. Shaq getting off the road. Round the final chicane. Now the final corner. Keeps it pinned. Climbs through the gears. DRS open. It's a 1:14.310. It is 300ths. Separating the top two at the moment. It is incredibly close. Plevs is on an in-lap. Same with Nachos, who is improved by a second. He's now done a 1:16.1. His previous best was a 17 flat. So he has found some time. Now I have it on fitted. What about Best? Best would give us a bit more information. So inside the top 10, 3 of them have qualified on the mediums. Highest placed is Sandeezy in 3rd. We still have 5 cars yet to set a lap time. We've got 6 minutes left, so it's getting touch and go for those guys. This man will be interesting to watch, I'm sure. He's on the soft compound tyre? He is. He's on worn soft compound tyres though. Will he be darting into the pits? I'm not 100% certain. Spilly has him validated. Oh! Off the road, Wogboy. Oh, and I must have misread the leaderboard. He's on the medium compound tyre, not the soft. He's going to set off on a lap. Rounding the final corner, turn 16. He'll set off on a flying lap with a bit over 5 minutes to go. He barrels towards turn 1. In 8th gear, climbing towards 330 kilometers an hour there. That was incredibly fast into turn 1. And the car off the racetrack, that's G4 Swaggy. The man who is second in the championship. He has made a mistake in the opening complex, and as a result, he'll need to do another flying lap to try and set a competitive lap time. Rounding turn 5, short shifting to 4th on the exit. Round turn 6, he keeps it wide, so then he's nice and on the outside for the entry for turn 7. A bit squirrely through 8. Up the hill around turn 9. Car gets light. The car got light and he kept it on the black stuff just. Whew. He was right on the edge of control. He exceeded it, but he managed to gather it back up. Only just though. Only just. Sorrel JB up by a 10th in the first sector. Racing Point driver currently 7th. Both Racing Points looking pretty solid right now. Down the hill, round turn 6. Again, a similar line to Wogboy. That nice open line into turn 7 through 8. Up the hill, round turn 9. See, car very stable. That car looked very, very stable there. Hard on the brakes at the 100 meter board. He's a bit down in the second sector, but he can find time in the third, so long as he gets it right. 3rd gear, 4th gear on the exit, 5th. 6th gear he goes up to. Round turn 13, into the chicane. 2nd gear, keeps her in 2nd. 3rd, 4th, 5th gear, round the final corner. DRS open. It's a 1:15.873. Improves by a little under a 10th. Stays 7th quickest. Swaggy on a flying lap. Can he set something with 3 minutes left? There's a car in front, it's his teammate who gives him a small tow. Not much, but it will help him. Rounds the hairpin of turn 10. Doesn't use any of the exit curb. Rounding turn 12. Rounding turn 13. Down to 3rd gear, interesting. Down to 2nd gear, through the chicane, short shifts. Into 4th gear, 5th gear, round the final corner. DRS Open up to the line, sets a 14.9. That's a great bit of driving there. Right at the end of the session, when the pressure is on, he goes third quickest. The quickest out of all the medium runners. His teammate Sandizi is on a flying lap. He's currently second quickest out of the mediums. Bit under 3/10 behind his teammate. Swagger gets out of the way. Up by 7 thousandths of a second in the first sector. Spilly appears to be on a flying lap as well. Down though in the second sector. He'll be having another go, I assume. Sandizi though through turn 7. Then turn 8. Up the hill. Round 9. 7th gear. Keeps it pinned. DRS open. Now turn 10. Purple apparently to the second sector. Up by 0.02 of a second and spins! Oh, and into the wall. That is qualifying over for Sandizi. Even though he has enough time to set another flying lap, that damage ends his session for sure. OP Magic goes 5th quickest with a 15.2. And Spilly's session is over, I think. Yes, it is. Pulls off the road to let the faster traffic through. Sandizi doing the same. That's just before 13. There's cars coming through on flying laps. There's Nachos. He's on an out lap, thank goodness. There's Swaggy. The Swaggy one to try and set one last flying lap here. No, he's not. He's going to go into the pits like his teammate. Leo on his final flying lap. Same with Crichton. Crichton down in the first sector though, by 1/10. It's a fair amount of time to lose in only 3 corners. Can he make it up through the second and third sectors? Exiting turn 5. Round turn 6. Into 7 and 8. Tricky complex where you have to maximise the track width. He does so expertly. Round 9. Keeps it pinned in 7th gear. DRS open on the back straight towards turn 10. His teammate Volt's having a moment. Purple to the second sector, but he's still down overall by 0.08. What about Leo? Up by 0.07 in the first sector. He might be looking at a pole position here. Sector 2 says up by 0.105. It does look like pole position for Leo, but he needs to nail the final sector. Crichton goes into the pits very late there. He's satisfied, I guess, or rather gives up the notion of setting another flying lap. He knows he can't find the time in the third sector, but Leo, can he achieve pole position here at Barcelona? He does with a 1:14.240. A fine lap time right at the end of the session. And I don't think anybody will have anything in response to that. Shaq is coming to the end of his lap and he slows down. He wants 11th. That's what he's doing there. It's a strategic call from Shaq. We'll see if it pays off in the race itself. Starting P11. Stingray stays 16th quickest at the back of the field. But that is qualifying over here in Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Leo on pole position by 0.07 of a second. He'll be starting on the soft compound tyre. He'll have championship leader GeForce Crichton start alongside him, also on the soft compound tyre. What is Mr. Mount up to? He's just going very slowly, I guess. Just giving us a bit more of a scenic tour of the racetrack. Oh, you can't quite see it, but over that concrete wall is a rallycross circuit here at Barcelona. It's quite a neat little rallycross circuit as well. Utilises turns 10, 11, 12 and the old layout of Barcelona, where instead of taking the chicane, you take that fast right-hander. But it's a very nice little street circuit. I somewhat enjoy it. Street circuit, rallycross circuit. There we go. So yep, top two on soft, same with fourth place driver Volts. So both Mercedes in the top five, but starting on the soft compound tyre, I'd say that isn't the more ideal strategy. The only other driver inside the top 10 who set a time on the soft compound tyre is Spilly, down in 9th. Spilly will really need to make full use of that soft tyre right at the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if he was quite aggressive early on to try and make up positions. But there we go. Qualifying over. As I said, 7/100ths of a second. Incredibly close qualifying. Then it's 7/10ths. It's a big margin, but it's understandable. Swaggy did that on the medium compound tyre. He'd be quite thankful to start on the second row, so far up the field on the medium tyre. Then Volts in P4, Plebs P5, Sandeezy P6, OP Magic P7, Mr. Mount P8, Spilly in 9th on the soft tyre, then Old Mate Kurt rounds out the top 10. Then we have Shaq, Curving, Sorel JB, Wogboy, Nachos and Prime Stingray rounding out the other drivers in the field. It'd be interesting to see who goes with what. I imagine all of the drivers outside the top 10 would start on the mediums. I don't think any of them would start on the hards. If you start on the hardest compound straight away, you run the risk of potentially ruining your race. If you get damage early on, which is entirely possible on the early laps, you don't have the hardest compound to fall back on if you get damage and you need a wing change. You have to pit onto a set of mediums or a set of softs. It basically ruins your strategy. So the idea of starting on the hard tyre, it's a good one so long as you keep your nose clean, but you need to shuffle your way up the field a little bit. You can't be lagging behind all of the other drivers on the fresher tyres. You need to make full use of that hard tyre. So it's a very difficult balancing act, but it can pay off if you can pull it off. So drivers will set off on their formation lap. Quite overcast here. And as I imagined, all of them, except for one, actually, one driver has decided to start on the hards. So, 4 drivers in the top 10 starting on the softs. They're the only drivers starting on the softs. Shaq in P11 on the medium, same with Curving Texas, and P12 Sorel JB. It's the same thing, P13. Wogboy, though, in the Ferrari, has decided to go onto the hard tyre. Is this a Ferrari strategy we're seeing? Oh, and that's a Ferrari spin, but in the McLaren from Nachos there. Yeah, it was quite a nice spin, but wrong car, mate. It's not quite red enough. It's a bit too orange. But he starts on the medium compound tyre. Prime Stingray in P16, also starting on the mediums. So Wogboy is taking a big gamble here, starting on the hards. He really needs to make sure he doesn't get damaged, as Shaq spins out on the formation lap. Well, the Ferraris are certainly showing up the other teams, showing them how not to spin a car, even though from this season they were quite renowned for it. Is this going to be big brain Wogboy for this race? Starting on the hard compound tyre. He's trying to get some temperature into those things. It will be quite difficult, I imagine, getting temperature into those tyres. Particularly when it's overcast like this, when the track temp reduces. It just makes it that much more difficult to get the tyres up to temp. So you see him sliding the car, locking up the brakes. Whole heap of wheel spin to try and get something into the tyres, because you need it for a start. If your tyres are stone cold for the start of the race, you have a shocking start. You lose out to everyone around you. So he's desperate to try and get something into those tyres, some sort of temperature for the start of this race. But everyone will line up on the grid, ready to race here at Barcelona. 33 laps lay in front of us. Counterpart. We have 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Leo converts well off the line, He will lead the field down the hill towards turn 1. He will defend the inside line. Nachos is off the racetrack. It's 4 wide. Contact there at turn 1. But everyone else gets through relatively okay. What about the midfield? Or off the racetrack? It's Sandeezy. But he keeps the car under control somehow. Oh, and he's run in front of Nachos. They have come together. And Nachos has damage. He went straight in front of the McLaren there in the braking zone of turn 3. And he's destroyed the front wing on that McLaren. Nachos would be furious about that, surely. Just started right across, right in front of the Italian, nowhere to go. Oh, Pleb's trying to force an issue here. Oh, and he spins! And Spilly collects him! And so does Mr. Mount! And through goes Shaq! And spinning is Spilly! Oh my goodness me, we have some drama on the first lap here. Plebs falls all the way down to 15th. The two Red Bulls are currently battling for position. They follow each other line astern, and here comes Sorel JB. He tries to pull alongside Curving, can't do anything though. He makes contact with the Red Bull in the braking zone. And Spilly, disqualified, parked in a dangerous location. You can see him there, his AI moving now, but he did not move after his incident at turn 12. Nachos getting a new front wing on his car. After what happened on the first lap, it's the same with Mr. Mount. He got caught up in that incident at turn 12. I think he was on the outside of the 3 that were having the accident, and he just got caught out because of it. I think he was a innocent bystander, as Curving Texas makes a mistake, loses 3 positions in one go. He falls to 11th. What's an unbelievable first lap. Oh, and Send Easy, the send. The Alfa Romeo driver not mucking around here. He's sending it on everyone, it seems. He's driving quite aggressively. Oh, and he's now got an end plate missing. Oh, as Wogboy almost goes up the back of the Alfa Romeo. What an unbelievable first lap this is, as Speedly leaves the session. I want to go and look at the leaders, but there's stuff going on back here. As Plebs makes a move on F1 Wogboy. That is for 12th place. Those medium compound tyres still significantly better than those hards. Sorel JB prying Stingray, battling round turn 4. They're side by side. Stingray stays out in front. Into turn 5. Sorel JB thought about it there. He thought about a move. He didn't go for it though. Wogboy is fighting back though. He has taken 12th away from Plebs. He wants to get a move on, so does Plebs, I'm sure. I want to look at the front though. I have a feeling something's going to happen here, and I'm going to miss it. Oh my goodness me. There's OP prying. Sorel JB, old mate Kurt, Curving Texas just in behind. That's 1.6 seconds to Sandeezy, who has wing damage. After making contact, I think it was with Curving, he got the wing damage from. Crichton ready to attack his championship rival. Back into second place goes the Black Arrows driver. Now he needs to pull away from his rival because Swaggy is in prime position here. He's on the optimal strategy. He'll probably do a medium to hard strategy. Those soft tyres, they'll be good for now, but after 7 laps they'll drop off a cliff. And in fact, I think it's going to be fairly even between the medium and soft compound tyres. There's Leo out in front, leading the way. He's got 1.8 seconds over Crichton. Oh, Swaggy. Yeah, a bit of a heart and mouth moment there. Kept the car under control though. That car went a bit wide. It looked a bit unstable, but he kept it under control. Further behind, OP Magic still leading this train. He's got Prime Stingray on the back of him in the Ferrari. He's made up several places off the start. 9, in fact, if memory serves me right. He has. He's made up the most positions out of everyone in the field. Next best is Shaq in 5th place, up from 11th. I guess his call to not set a flying lap right at the end of the session was a good call there. And we have a safety car. A safety car has been deployed. Nachos has had a big accident at turn 9. I suspected we were going to see at least one of those in tonight's race. Turn 9, it's such a tricky corner. It's incredibly easy to make a mistake through there. So the safety car has been deployed. It'll give us a nice pause to what has been a dramatic start to this race. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. Nachos has left the session. So we have 2 drivers out. We have 14 left. Meaning that everyone who finishes can score points. Oh, dearie me. What a start to a race. So what did the soft... Oh, old mate Kurt just got a 5-second penalty. Severe collisions with Sorel JB. Severe quote-unquote collision, because I doubt it was anything impactful. Well, actually it is. He's got damage to his front wing. You can see there. End plate missing on the Williams car. And into the pits goes Leo. I suspected the soft runners would be in. Same with Swaggy, actually. Swaggy is in as well. Double stack for Mercedes. Onto the hard tyre goes Crichton. What about Swaggy? It's a set of mediums. It's another set of mediums. Fascinating. What he might be doing is perhaps pit onto the mediums here and at the end of the race pit onto the softs. That might not be a bad idea, but he's down in 9th. He's lost a fair amount of track position. Crichton has pit onto the hards. Volks has pitted onto the mediums. Plevs onto hards. Old mate Kurt onto mediums with the wing damage, so he loses out a little bit there. Leo onto mediums as well. So Leo doing a 2-stop. That's for sure. Crichton might try and get those to the end. There'll be some task, but he might be able to do it. Might. And this will help out Mr. Mount after getting involved in the incident earlier on at turn 12. He'll be able to catch up to the back end of the field, try and catch back up. Oh dear. It wasn't the greatest start to a race. It was definitely entertaining, but I wouldn't say it was great. Had several drivers get involved in incidents. Oh dear. Now we got Shaq in the lead. OP Magic, then Prime Stingray, Sorel JB, Curving Texas, and then Wogboy. Wogboy on those hard tyres. Then behind we got a mixture of fresh mediums and fresh hard runners. Those hard runners will be trying to go to the end, that's for sure. They'll be trying. Those medium runners will need to make another pit stop. And same with the top sticks. All of them need to make another pit stop. This is going to be a fascinating race to see how the strategies pan themselves out. Because I have absolutely no idea who's made the right call. And those soft runners definitely made the right call, as Swaggy and Crichton exchanged position there. Those soft runners absolutely, well, they had to pit. If they didn't, well, they just kind of look like fools if they... To mediums, another went on to hards. Volts was the third driver. on the soft compound tyre. He went on to mediums like Leo. Oh, this is going to be interesting. And Crichton is... Well, we saw Wogboy not do too badly against the medium runners. So maybe Crichton won't lose out too massively to those around him. But he is going to struggle. Those hard compound tyres initially are about 6/10 slower a lap than the medium compound tyres. At least that's what the game says as the safety car is now coming into the pits. So Shaq will take control of the field. So, strategy is going to be interesting. This is going to be a fascinating race when it comes to strategy, because I'm not sure who's made the right call. Oh, this is going to be good fun. Shaq will round the chicane. He'll floor it. Use overtake, and what a restart from the Renault driver. He's nailed it. Look at the gap, 1.1 seconds. Stingray's on top of it though, dumping his ERS, sitting in the slipstream. Is he close enough to attack? No, he's not, is he? Not at turn 1. OP locks up a little bit, but that's okay. He keeps his momentum and keeps second place. But what a start from Shaq in the Renault. He's pulled out 1.2 seconds already. Crichton, he's lost out to Leo by quite a bit. 1.5 seconds. He's got Swaggy on the back of him. Half a second separating the two. Swaggy isn't going to muck around. He wants to get by Crichton and challenge Leo. Round turn 6 into 7 and 8. No way you made a move at turn 9 prying Stingray. You did, didn't you? You crazy man. Or as OP shows the nose, doesn't commit to the move though. Oh, and Sir LJB says hello, how are you? I might try and take this position away from you. Doesn't succeed in it though, stays in 4th place. Leo on those fresh medium compound tyres, he's going to be lightning quick compared to those in front, but he needs to get by. He, like Swaggy, can't muck around. What a lovely camera shot there. And here comes Swaggy. Alongside and past. Or is he? Or he is just. Crichton, will he go for a move? No. He'll brake early and stay in behind his G-Force compatriot and stays in 9th place. Rounding turn 4. Don't know why that escaped my mind, but I forgot what corner number that was. Round turn 5, exiting turn 5. Unfortunately, Wogboy went onto the grass a little bit there. He's now got Leo right behind him. Right up his trumpet, trying to get by. Round turn 7. I bet Leo will use his ERS here. No, he won't. I thought Leo might try and dump his ERS and get by the Ferrari. Instead, he saves it up. Rounding turn 12. Then into turn 13. Gently on the brakes, gently on the throttle. About tiptoeing your way through here. There's no part of that sort of complex where you can go through full throttle. Just have to modulate the brake and the throttle just nicely. So then you can keep up momentum, but more importantly, not spin out. Swaggy's just in behind Leo. He'd be trying Leo to try and find a way past somewhere. He's close. Oh, close enough. This is the troubles with Barcelona. So incredibly difficult to pass. Oh, and here comes Swaggy. Volks gets a 3-second time penalty. How assertive will the Alfa Romeo driver be? Rounding turn 9. They have DRS. Leo just sits out of the slipstream just a little bit, telling Wogboy, I'm right here. Or Kirby makes a mistake, a small one. Cost him a little bit of momentum. through the chicane. There's Crichton, his teammate Volts. Plebs isn't too far behind this as well. Using ERS, opens the flap, the DRS flap. That Haas has got some straight line speed. Look at that. 320, 325. The Haas is 5 kilometers an hour quicker down the pit straight. Rounding turn 4. Turn 3, sorry, not turn 4, turn 3. Into turn 4. Again, not close enough. Round turn 6. Into turns 7 and 8. Up the hill. Oh! It's Swaggy. Was that a mistake? I think it was. He's lost a fair amount of ground. Driver's using all the curb at the exit of 9. Oh, and Volts! And he's hit Swaggy! Volts has hit Swaggy! Oh, who has hit old mate Kurt, I think that was. And into the wall! Unbelievable! And he's retired on track. There we go. The championship implications from that. Volts, I think, just missed all of his braking points there at the hairpin. And he's hit the Alfa Romeo and he's out of the race. Volts goes into the pits. Pulls it up. Those are hard compound tyres coming out. And a wing change. G4 Swaggy leaving the session in fury, I imagine. He cannot believe it. As I said, the gap in the championship is 35 points. Ideally, Swaggy really needed a good race in order to challenge Crichton for the championship. It's gone the complete opposite way. Leo down the inside of curving. Or curving, getting the switchback on the curb. The car couldn't stay alongside. He relinquishes 6th place and falls down to 7th. Meanwhile, out in front, Shaq loving the clear air. He's got a 2.3 second margin, which I've noticed has actually been shrinking ever so slightly each lap. So perhaps Stingray has got the measure over Shaq at the moment. OP in 3rd place. He's got a healthy 1 second margin to Sorel JB, with Wogboy in P5 on his hard compound tyres, his old hard compound tyres. Leo in P6, just over a second behind the Ferrari. Then it's curving Texas, Crichton, old mate Kurt and Plebs rounding out the top 10. Only 13 cars left in the race. Oh my dearie me, with 13 laps done. OP Magic gets a penalty, 3 seconds worth. Probably ran wide here at turn 9. Cost him a penalty there. Right on board with Plebs. Mr. Race Spec, Mr. Consistency. Does a really good job of keeping his nose clean, though he got involved in that incident here at turn 12. Rounding the chicane. See Kurt using a lot of the curb. And you see Plebs doesn't really get a good exit. Exiting the chicane. Here comes Crichton. Down the inside. Gets it done. Into 7th place. Curving falls to 8th. His medium tyres feeling the burn. Wogboy has closed onto the back of Sorel JB. Leo is right there as well, as Volts gets a 3 second time penalty. Around turn 9. Sorel JB's got DRS to keep the Ferrari and Haas at bay. And I was wrong about the top two. Shaq looks like he has the measure over Stingray. That gap has increased to 3.2 seconds. But Renault, very, very fast at the moment. Still going. Stingray still going as well. Into the pits though is Sorel JB. One of them has come in. Crichton sets fastest lap with a 1:17.964. So Sorel JB will be pitting onto the hard compound tyre. Here he goes. Out of the pits. Now he'll come out well in front of Mr. Mountain Volts. Mr. Mount currently P12. Volts in P13. Long, long way behind the pack. Gap has opened up a little more, a tenth of a second more. 3.3 seconds between the top two. Leo on the back of Wogboy. Doesn't get a great run out of turn 9. Around the hairpin of turn 10, which doesn't exist anymore. Thank goodness. For 2021, the track reverts to its somewhat more traditional layout. And sweeper rather than a hairpin. We still go through this wretched chicane, but you know, at least we get that fast sweeper instead of that tight hairpin. Stingray into the pits. So one of the Ferraris is in. None of these guys are in a position to attack just yet, except for maybe Wogboy. OP Magic's tyres, they are well worn. Round turn 4. Gap is 4/10 of a second. Into turn 5. Not close enough to attack here. If he wants to attack into the hairpin of 10, he needs a good run out of turn 9. See what he can do here. Through 7 and 8. Car was a bit squirrely. The gap has increased. Round turn 7. 6th gear. Keeps it flat. Oh, Crichton using all of the track there. At the exit of the corner. Leo goes down the inside. Makes the move. Stick. He's into 3rd place. Crichton tries to follow. Is unable to do so. But a great move there by Leo. He finally got past the Ferrari of Wogboy. Now he's got his lights firmly set on the Red Bull of OP Magic, who is still going as Shaq goes into the pits to go onto the hard tyre. Leo, he'll close in on OP Magic as Volts gets another penalty. Here comes Crichton, he's alongside and through into 3rd place. Fairly straightforward overtake there, down the inside of turn 1. Leo, he's on the back of OP. Can he do anything? See if he can do it here. I don't think he's quite close enough. Small lift in 6th gear. DRS open. Not quite close enough. Plebs a penalty. 3 seconds. Round turn 11. Then turn 12. Now will OP be pitting this lap? Will he go in? He will. He'll unleash Leo. But Leo's got a bit of a problem. It's that guy right there. Crichton in P2. On those hard compound tyres, he'll be trying to go to the end. Leo needs to make another pit stop. These tyres won't make it from here. It's going to be a difficult task for Leo to try and win this. Crichton is in a great position if he can get those tyres to the end. Wogboy, he'll be pitting soon, I imagine. Probably onto the medium compound tyre. Right now he's taking full use of the DRS available to him from the Mercedes-Benz in front. That's what I was talking about earlier, maximizing your hard tyre. If you elect to start on it, you need to maximize it. That's what he's doing at the moment in third place. And when he'll pit onto fresh mediums, I imagine. I reckon he thought about pitting then, but decided not to. Look at that gap, it's increased massively. I bet he was thinking about pitting, but he changed his mind. It's cost him a fair amount of ground. Those medium tyres will have a fair amount of wear on them now. They've done 12 laps. They'll be feeling the burn, and those hard tyres will come into their own. Crichton applying a great deal of pressure. Rounding turn 9, keeping it mostly flat. Man. Right on the limit there through the corner. Not a bad camera shot this one, as Volts has left the session. Ooh, a bit of a moment there. And Leo's pitting, he's in. So he's pitting early. A bit earlier than I thought he would. He'll go onto the soft tyre, I think. He didn't start on the softs. Those are mediums. Have I missed something? He did start on the softs. That's right, he qualified on pole. I'm a dum-dum. Here I did. But he's in P9, he's still inside the top 10. He's got OP Magic right in front. Will he go for a move? OP defends kind of. Sort of just weave to the middle of the road, just telling Leo, just stay your ground, mate. Don't do anything silly just yet. Rounding turn 5. Yes, I completely forgot Leo qualified on the softs. I thought he qualified on the medium. But I'm stupid. He qualified on the softs. It's close. Rounding turn 10. Can't do anything through here as Wogboy pits. He'll go onto the medium tyre and go to the end, I assume. See what Leo can do here. Should be a fairly straightforward move. DRS open, using overtake as well. OP covers the inside line, but he'll do nothing, and there is Wogboy. It's going to be close. Round the outside, he goes deep. He'll have the inside line for turn 2. He pushes Wogboy out wide, but Wogboy's having none of it. With the inside line, he takes back 7th place. And he keeps it. Oh, how about that? Leo, behind the guy he was stuck behind for so long in that previous stint, and he's stuck behind him again. Let's see here. Kurt will be pitting soon. I imagine he's done 14 laps on those tyres. Now he is one of the drivers who started on the medium, so he has to keep going until the softs become available to him to go to the end. He'll need to pit at about lap 24, maybe lap 23 if he wants to stretch it. See, he's running even on fuel as well, that yellow fuel icon popping up just ever so briefly. And Plebs with the penalty. What? Mr. Consistency got a pen? There you go. Typically, Plebs is quite good at not getting penalties, but he's got one tonight. But what an interesting race this is turning out to be. Gaps are fairly big at the moment, so there's not a great deal of action, although Mr. Mount is giving Curving Texas a bit of a hurry up. Mr. Mount, he'll be trying to get to the end on those tyres as well, so this will be a genuine battle for 11th. And remember, the top 15 scored points in this championship, so he'll be on course for something, although Curving doesn't do himself a massive favour there by getting a penalty. That'll hurt him. This man not close enough to attack in the hairpin, though he brakes very deep. Very confident under brakes. Kurt struggling on those tyres. There goes Plebs into second place. 3.2 seconds ahead of him is our race leader, G-Force Crichton. Leo sets fastest lap with a 17.191. And there goes Leo down the inside, and he retakes 7th. Wogboy, can he do anything? Around the outside of turn 3, can't really make it stick here. He'll sit in the slipstream. Leo, will he defend? No. Wogboy is not close enough to attack. Exiting 4. Round 5. Still not close enough. Wogboy, has he got something up his sleeve? Try and retake that 7th place. Stingray, he'll be seeing his teammate and the Haas filling his mirrors in a few moments. He's on older, harder tyres compared to those behind. He's going to be a bit of a sitting duck. Won't stop him from trying though. Knowing Stingray, he'll try and put up some sort of fight. Kurt stays out another lap. Leo sets a new fastest lap with a 17 flat. Here comes the Haas. Throwing Stingray defends hard. Round turn 1 we go. They are side by side. Into turn 2 though, with Leo on the inside line. Leo takes P6. Oh, right up onto the AstroTurf there, throwing Stingray. You have to be careful when you go out onto that stuff. Significantly less grip compared to the tarmac. Here comes Wogboy. Can he find a way past his teammate? Or Stingray try and fight on, regardless of the car behind. Wogboy. Oh, Stingray pulls out of the way. That's great teamwork there. He doesn't want to impede his teammate. He wants to let him go. Continue his fight with Leo. He needs to find a bit of time here, though, as Kurt goes into the pits to go onto the soft tyre. Can Wogboy get within a second of Leo? Oh, he pushed too hard through the chicane. Too hard. And he won't get DRS. He needs to catch up the old-fashioned way. Kurt exits his pit box, exits the pit lane. Here comes Sorrel JB. And Kurt comes out just in front, into 9th place. On those soft compound tyres, he's going to be rapid. But they're going to die off quite a bit towards the end. Out in front with no troubles, Crichton with a healthy 3.7 second margin. Sandizi currently finds himself in 3rd place, which would be some miracle considering what happened earlier on, as Mr. Mount has left the session. That means I think we only have 11 cars left in the field. Got Shaq in 4th place, who did a fantastic restart after the safety car. He absolutely nailed that restart. 30 seconds. to Sandeezy. Can he close that up with the remaining laps? Then there's Leo in P5, qualified on pole. Elected to go onto the medium tyre when the safety car came out. He's in 5th, but he's fast at the moment. He is flying, setting fastest laps. Although, I imagine Kurt has already taken that away from him. Not yet. But Kurt might get it this lap. You see there, Leo currently 18.3 seconds behind the leader. I don't think he'll be catching that up with the laps remaining. But he's slowly but surely clawing his way towards the Renault of Shaq. Out in front though, no troubles. Crichton begins lap 27. We have 7 laps to go. And there's Plebs. Sandeezy, the top 3, very much spread out as he gets his first penalty, I believe. He does. Shaq now 3.7 seconds behind. I think he actually gained a second that lap, as Kurt, as I thought he might, sets fastest lap with a 16.6. Takes it away from Leo. The field is spread out like this. I don't really know where to look. Probably I'll make Kurt, I'd say. He's closing up onto the back of Stingray. He will try and challenge for position. Exiting turn 5, down the hill. 6, then turn 7 and 8. The gap closes to 7/10. Round turn 6. Closes up a bit more using DRS. Very deep, very deep under brakes. Round turn 13. 14 and 15 now. DRS open. Using overtake. Here he comes. What will Stingray do? He stays on the racing line. They're alongside and past goes. Oh, mate, Kurt. Stingray, I think he understands that it's going to be difficult to fight with Kurt, considering he's on fresh, soft compound tyres. Relinquishes the position. Kurt into 7th. He's got 3.1 seconds to Wogboy. Gap closes up a bit more between Sandeezy and Shaq. Shaq is in with a genuine shot of a podium here, as Sandeezy has 3 seconds worth of pens. He's only 2.5 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo. And he's closing that in lap after lap. We also have to factor in Leo and Wogboy. They're on fresher, medium compound tyres. And they're closing in on this battle as well. Very wide there, Shaq. That might have been a warning. Gap is now 1.9 seconds. 5 laps to go. Through turns 1, 2, and then the right-hand sweeper of turn 3. Round turn 4. Then turn 5. Gap closes some more, 1.5 seconds. Battle for the final podium spot is on. 100% this is on. Shaq is closing in. Rounding the hairpin of 10. Leo is within a second of the Renault. Through the tight technical complex that is the 3rd sector. Down the hill towards the wretched chicane. Exiting it. Wide again there at the second last turn. Gap is 1.4 seconds, 4 laps to go. And Leo has DRS and is closing in rapidly on the Renault in front. Again through turns 1, 2 and 3. Shaq, his eyes need to be just on the Alfa Romeo in front. He needs to close in on that guy. Not focus about the Haas. Just keep pushing, keep digging. That way you can try and keep that gap to the Haas. Gap is half a second. Rounding turn 9. Leo is closing. He's within 4 tenths of Shaq here. And that's a McLaren. It's Plebs! Plebs has made some sort of error. Has he? No! Ooh, wait a minute. He's got a puncture! A puncture! He's got a puncture with 2 laps to go. Oh, dearie me, and Wog Boy, he's getting held up. His chance for a podium out the window. Unbelievable. So what about Sandeezy? What about Crichton? They must be creeping around now. Plebs, he's not exactly an aggressive driver. And he's got a puncture. Oh, they're going to be tiptoeing around, aren't they? The game says they can do 22 laps. They have to do another 2 and they've already done 24. That battle with Shaq might not just be the battle for the final podium spot. It might be for a hell of a lot more. Crichton. His win is down to the Codemasters gods. Will he get a puncture? He's got 2 to go, lap 32 and 33. That's all he has to do. He's got a massive margin. Sandeezy is crawling. He's got Shaq closing in rapidly. Both Shaq and Leo will have DRS. There's Wogboy. 2 seconds behind. After being held up by Plevs when he got a puncture. Round turn 3. There's Leo. Onto the grass, Shaq. Keep it on the black stuff. Oh, and here comes Leo. He looks. Doesn't get the move done though. You sure saw Shaq just open the door up a little bit so then he doesn't make contact with the Haas. Sandeezy still going, tiptoeing around the racetrack. And here comes Shaq. Will he go for it? No, I don't think he will. He'd be very deep under brakes, so his tyres are way better than the 2 in front. Rounding turn 12. Oh, he's slipping and sliding everywhere. Crichton begins the final lap. We'll go to him in just a moment. We've got the final 4.6 kilometres of this race. And it's all to play for. The podium spots have not yet been decided. Here comes Shaq. He looks. Doesn't go for it. Leo can't go anywhere. He's stuck in 4th. Rounding turn 3. Here we go, towards turn 4. Plev sets fastest lap. Shaq defends. Leo looks around the long way. The Renault defends. He'll defend here, surely. He will. Round turn 5, exiting 5. Leo is looking left and right. Through 6 into 7. Sandeezy's tyres are hanging on. Same with Crichton, I think. Yeah, his tyres are still good. Only just back to this, just briefly. Into turn 10. Leo left and right, weaving that car, trying to find a way past. A mistake, a small mistake from Shaq. He lit it up at the exit of the hairpin. And somehow no puncture for Crichton. He crosses the line to win here in Barcelona. Sandizi will cross the line in second, but it will go to Shaq. I do believe coming up to the line, it is the Renault finishes second, Leo in third. He tried and tried, but the best he could manage was third. Wogboy in fourth, Sandizi falls to fifth because of the penalty. Kurt in P6, Stingray in seventh. And we'll go through the rest of the order when the leaderboard pops up. But what a fascinating end to a race that was. Wogboy given driver of the day there by Codemasters. Well, it seems that the Codemasters gods favoured Crichton today. He somehow did not get a puncture. Neither did Sandizi, but a penalty resulted in him dropping from second to fifth, promoting forever Shaq to second place and Leo to third after qualifying on pole position. Oh boy. Well done, Spain. That was a lot of fun. Crichton taking victory from starting second on the grid. Who would have thought the guy who would start on the soft tyre would ultimately end up winning? There you go. Shaq second, after starting 11th, making up 9 places. If anything, he might be my driver of the day over Wogboy, though Wogboy drove supremely well from 14th to 4th. And it could have been a bit more if it weren't for Plevs and that puncture. In fairness to Plevs, where else could he have gone in that moment? You know, it's just unfortunate. Wogboy was just in the wrong place, wrong time. Sandizi 5th, Old Mate Kurt 6th, Prime Stingray 7th, OP Magic in 8th, Sorel JB in 9th, and Curving Texas rounds out the top 10. Plevs scores points in 11th, and I think that's it. I don't think Mr. Mount finished. Neither did Volts, Swaggy, that's the big one. Swaggy, Nachos, and Spilly. Also, kudos to Prime Stingray. What a race from him. 16th to 7th, up 9 places. Had some real movers up the leaderboard in this race. And we had some massive championship implications. So, with Crichton taking the win, that is 25 points to his name. He now has a margin of 60 with 3 rounds to go. So this is really looking good for Crichton. I think mathematically he can secure it in the next round. The Drivers' Championship, I think he can secure it in the next round. But that's one of the few Spain races I really enjoyed. That was fascinating to watch. Seeing the strategies play out, had some good racing in between. You know, he had some drama as well that wasn't too great, but that fascinates me, how interesting that race was. But Crichton taking the win once again, this time in Spain. But the racing is not over here at Barcelona for Race Spec Esports. Tomorrow, well, at least for me, tomorrow, we'll have the Americas series around here, where we get to see that championship fight continue. And at the end of the week, we'll have the RS tiers battle it out around here as well. I'll be commentating the RS2 championship, which will be a lot of fun. But for the Tier 1 Pacific Series, we won't be racing till next week. And next week, if I'm not mistaken, will be the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka International Racing Course. Now, Suzuka is a very difficult racetrack. It's an old-fashioned circuit in the sense that it's not tarmac that greets you if you run off the racetrack. It's grass, it's sand. You know, if you make a mistake, the track lets you know about it. And there are plenty of areas at Suzuka where you can make a mistake. Probably most notably is the first sector. The auto spin curbs there are incredibly dangerous and can easily catch drivers out. You've also got the famous Degner curves. You've got Spoon Curve, and of course one of the most famous left-handers in motorsport, 130R. It'll be a fascinating race to watch. Qualifying should be good, especially with these guys where they're top quality drivers. Seeing them yeet it around this around Suzuka will be very, very nice to watch. But I think that'll conclude this stream. Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. But until next time, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka Circuit. Until then, goodbye.